Hello and welcome to our brand new podcast series, Decade of Excellence, Reimagining Human Health. Through this series, we'll be celebrating the 10th anniversary of our bioengineering department here at the University of Texas at Dallas. My name is Shalini Prasad and I am the department head for the bioengineering department.
Today's episode, my guest is Dr. Mark Spong, who was the Dean of Erik Jonsson's School of Engineering and Computer Science when the bioengineering department was first started 10 years ago. So in today's conversation, Mark and I will walk back memory lane and figure out how we got started and where we are today. And I'd want to end it with the vision of what Mark thinks we should be doing in the next 10 years. So Mark, welcome to the podcast. Happy to have you here with us. So let me start with my first question. So when you became dean at the Jonsson School, you had started the initial vision about setting up bioengineering department here at UTD. Could you talk to us a little bit about the thought process in terms of what departments existed in the Jonsson School and what thought process went through towards setting up this department of bioengineering?
Thank you, Shalini, for inviting me, and congratulations on the great success that you've achieved with this department. It has really been very gratifying to watch what you're all doing. And as you said, I came here in 2008. At that time, as we know, the Jonsson School consisted only of EE and CS, the Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, prior to 2008. So from 1986 until 2008, the school had two departments. It really started with David Daniels' Tier 1 initiative. Around 2008, the material science department was started, basically spinning off from faculty from electrical engineering. When I arrived in the fall of 2008, we had just started mechanical engineering, so we had 4 departments. The vision, of course, with Tier 1 was to become a major research university. We always like to think of the UC San Diego analogy, right? Because, 30 years ago, UC San Diego was a relatively small school in a big city with lots of industry, and we were the same. And our location in the Metroplex positioned us really well to become the UC San Diego of North Texas, where we could grow to be a major research university. And we understood that to be a top-notch engineering program, you need bioengineering. It's an extremely important discipline. It is one of the fastest-growing disciplines nationwide.
So what led to the decision of adding bioengineering here at UT Dallas? And it is well known that bioengineering, to set up and start a department, is pretty expensive because of the kind of research such faculty would be doing. So how did you go about basically getting this financed and supported? Because we are a state institution. So what were all the various challenges that you had to face to make this happen?
It was quite a challenge indeed for all of our programs that we started and the speed at which we were growing. The discussions about bioengineering started before I came here with Bob Helms, my predecessor. Primarily, because of UT Southwestern, the top research medical school in the Metroplex, we had a great opportunity. They actually approached us. They wanted to work with us. They had great research scientists, and they had engineering problems. And so it's a perfect match where we could help to work on engineering problems that are very relevant for the medical school and the community. And so around that time, 2010, we joined an existing PhD program that UT Southwestern had with UT Arlington. And so we became the third member of a PhD program. We started the department. So essentially, we started from the top down with the PhD. The next year or so, we started the undergraduate program. And because of the high student interest and the national trend of bioengineering being one of the fastest growing disciplines in the nation, we thought it was really important to also start the undergraduate program as soon as we could. That, of course, comes with a lot of challenges. If you go back again to 2008, the strategic plan for UTD called for this bioengineering building in 2011 and the next building around 2014 or so. I joined in August 2008, and in October, the economy collapsed, right? And so we got set back 3 or 4 years in terms of construction, but at the same time, we exceeded the projections for growth. And so we were hiring faculty and enrolling students, growing 15% a year in the Jonsson School. And the big challenge was to get space and resources to build that. And it was a huge challenge. Now, with the BSB building and the mechanical engineering building, those problems are much less severe. But for a time there, we were remodeling spaces, building the temporary buildings, and trying to find classroom space wherever we could. And it was an exciting time, and it was a stressful time. But the faculty just rolled up their sleeves and did a great job to do this.
Moving on, now over this past 10 years, the bioengineering program has grown significantly. It has the fourth largest undergraduate cohort in biomedical engineering in the United States. So what do you attribute the success of to the success of this particular growth that we've seen for this program?
Yeah, I'm very pleasantly surprised, maybe not too surprised, but to learn that you're actually the number 4th department in terms of enrollment. This is a fantastic achievement, and congratulations again on that. I think the growth and success is due, again, to our location. We're in the Metroplex with 6 million people, a lot of demand for engineering and a lot of demand for bioengineering in particular. And again, the national trend is bioengineering is very rapidly growing. And so once we opened the doors, the students just applied and they recognized the quality of education at UTD, and they came. With the support of the president and the provost, we were able to sort of do what I refer to as deficit funding, right? To build the programs, and with the understanding that it was going to pay off eventually, but we relied on the president providing funding, the UT system, the state providing funding, and as well as the tuition dollars to enable us to grow.
That leads me into the next question. How were the first faculty identified and hired?
We have this very good School of Behavioral and Brain Science. They have a strong neuroscience program, and so some of our faculty that joined the department had joint positions in other departments, like Rob Reneker and Steve Levine from NSNM or in BBS. We also, of course, went out and hired externally. Electrical engineering faculty have a lot of interest in applications that involve bioengineering. You know, a lot of the stuff that people do in terms of building devices and applications are all in medical or biomedical applications. A lot of our mechanical engineering faculty are essentially doing biomedical engineering applications. And so we're able to capitalize on the interdisciplinary nature of bioengineering to have faculty that were already at UTD. But we went out and worked very hard to hire externally. And we had a lot of support from Texas Instruments, providing endowed positions that we could use to attract the top faculty. And so it was a lot of support from many, many places that enabled us to do this.
So bioengineering now has 6 research areas. So we have faculty, about 16 tenure-track faculty right now, and they're distributed amongst the 6 research areas. So how were the initial research areas identified, and were there directed hires towards specific research areas to build them up?
This was, I think, chosen very strategically by the faculty and the vision of the department heads, starting with Professor Vidyasagar and then Rob Reneker and then yourself. And I think that you all did a really fantastic job. One of the criteria we used was, since we had a joint PhD with UT Arlington, we did not want to overlap in certain areas like tissue engineering, which they already had. So we wanted to develop complementary strengths. We also wanted to develop the strengths that would be synergistic with UT Southwestern. And we're an engineering department. We're not a biology department. And so we were training engineers. And so that led to research areas and curriculum areas in things like biomedical devices, where the students learn circuits and they learn digital electronics and controls and signal processing, so they can really meld that with their knowledge of biology and bioengineering to become practicing engineers. And also the overlap with people in neuroscience in BBS was important. We developed a strong area there as well. Biomechanics was of interest in UT Southwestern. And of course, systems biology was important for us. And so we picked all those areas. And when I say we, I mean you, the faculty, picked those areas as to focus on, because bioengineering is, in a sense, like electrical engineering in being very, very broad. And you cannot be an expert in all possible areas of bioengineering. And so the strategic focus on these 6 areas, I think, was really well done by the faculty and is proven to pay off with both the quality of the students that we're graduating and the research that the faculty is producing.
Annual expenditures in research expenditures for bioengineering right now top over 19 million. And we are about a third of what Jonsson School basically brings in as research expenditures. So what do you think we can attribute to this phenomenal success that you see here in terms of the research productivity that the department has?
Well, it is phenomenal, and again, congratulations on this level of success is really very gratifying and very impressive. I think that, first of all, it's due to the great faculty that we've been able to hire, the quality of the faculty that's been able to bring in the research funding and attract the students. That's number one. You really have to have that. But on top of that, of course, we know that NIH funding is a lot higher than other agencies like the National Science Foundation. We know that we intentionally hired faculty that we had high confidence that they could attract NIH funding. And let's not forget the support that we got from UTD and from the system. We had a lot of support like the STARS program that provided startup funds for the faculty to get them set up in their laboratory so they could begin to write these proposals and bring in funding. We had support from the president paying tuition for PhD students. And of course, we had the CIPRIT program that provided a lot of funding for our faculty. And so all of those things together, combined with the research interests of the faculty and their expertise, enabled them to bring in a lot of research funding. And it's been, as I said, it's been very gratifying. Primarily, we have to thank the support that we got from the UTD and the UT system to help us do this.
So, Mark, now let's take a look ahead, right? So what is your vision, or what do you want to see for bioengineering for the next 10 years as we look at the next milestone from where we are at today?
Well, it took us until 2015 to get a new building. That is doing very well, and so we have even more opportunity there. I think the vision for the next 10 years should be to build upon what we've already done. Continue to have strong ties to the medical school. I think we would be good to have even more presence on their campus, have more presence of the research faculty and the physicians from UT Southwestern on our campus. That may mean additional construction of facilities on both campuses. I think that it's a tremendous opportunity that we have such a strong medical school, and now we're a strong engineering school that we can really contribute. So I think if we continue to go in the direction that we're going in, the future looks very bright for us.
Thank you, Dr. Mark Spong, for the time you have spent with us, taking us through the inception of the bioengineering department here at UT Dallas and your vision for the future. I really appreciate the time, and we hope to be engaging with you as we grow and build. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Shalini, and thanks for inviting me. And once again, congratulations on the success of the bioengineering department. It hardly seems like 10 years ago that we started this, but it's been a great ride, and you guys are doing a great job. I look forward to the next 10 years.